I'm really excited today to welcome Martin Atkins to Talks at Google. He's an entrepreneur. Martin's an entrepreneur, an educator, a musician, producer, DJ, and the list goes on. With a 35-year career that spans genres, borders, and industries, you could say that Martin's the definition of entrepreneurial activity in cultural arts endeavors. So to call out a few things from his massive list of accomplishments, he was a member of Public Image Ltd, founded the industrial supergroup Pigface, contributed to 9 Inch Nails, for which he won a Grammy, as well as Ministry. He's the owner of Invisible Records, Mattress Factory Recording Studios, and he's the author of Booksmart, Bandsmart, Tour Smart, and I think I probably left a few other titles out as well. He is also the father of 4. Martin is also the Music Business Chair at the SAE Institute Chicago. I think a few of you guys are here today. And he's here to talk about the creative industry with advice for artists, musicians, and entrepreneurs alike. He has all kinds of tried, tested, and remixed ideas that all add up to make a difference in a creative and arts-focused career. He'll share his perspective around longevity, efficiency, and having a mindset to plant the seeds of your own future. So for Googlers in the audience, be sure to think of your questions during the Q&A, which we'll have up at the end. So please join me in welcoming to the Google stage, Martin Atkins.
Thanks for that introduction. That was kind of awesome. You did miss out one of my books, Welcome to the Music Business, You're Fucked. I think you did miss that one out. So yeah, started playing drums when I was 9, joined my first band when I was 11, started drinking Newcastle Brown Ale and backing strippers at the age of 12. And it's just been, speaking of longevity, it's just been a long, slow, sad decline from what, in retrospect, was a career high at the age of 12. Here's just a little bit of me from my time with Public Image Ltd, featuring Johnny Rotten of the Sex Pistols, to the Suicide Girls, from American Bandstand.
Hello, what's your name, please?
Martin Atkins.
Welcome.
To MTV. From 9 Inch Nails to Pigface. Yeah. I just like seeing that, me spitting and hitting this, ruining microphones and stuff. 2 of my books and my 3rd book. I always forget to do this at the end, so I want to do it now. If you follow me on Twitter, M-A-R-T-E-E-E-E. My hilarious 80s joke is 4 E's, just like the old days. Yeah, laughter over here from the old people. Students are sitting here going, what's happening? Let's see. If you follow me on Twitter, you get a free download of my 2nd book. So what I'm gonna, this seems a little bit grandiose. Little stuff, big stuff, and huge stuff, which is all I could think of how to describe this stuff. First, before we get into that, I wanted to thank, because we're here in Chicago, I wanted to thank Chance the Rapper for donating $1 million to Chicago Public Schools. It's just... but is anybody else thinking, like, what, not, you couldn't do 1.5? And, you know, I would say. But without going off on too many tangents before we get started, do you have any idea how many types of Kit Kat there are in Japan? It's absolutely bonkers. Soy sauce, ginger ale, I don't know what the meaty was on that one. Red bean, pumpkin, baked potato Kit Kat. Yeah, and I'd love to say, we're going to try them on, mark down on your cards, which I don't have baked potato Kit Kats. I do have some Kit Kats. If anybody wants, if I can throw out some Kit Kats. Now, if some, pay attention. We're not having a Google law. I was stabbed in the eye with a Kit Kat. These will come out of the, I see you. It's all right, we'll get there. Oh, there we go. Well, and that's all we have time for. Does anybody want some Kit Kats that doesn't have Kit Kats? So what if, should I just, if I pass this over there, will it get past you lot? Would you could take a couple and pass it around. That'll work. Honor system. Also, while I'm not on the subject yet, I'm loving this book, Hitmakers by Derek Thompson. I'm really, really loving it. I think he's the senior editor of Vanity Fair, The Atlantic. It's just awesome. And while I'm up here, I just got Kevin Koval's 10th book, which is slightly awesome too. Okay, enough of that. Are there any rock stars here today? Let's try that again, shall we? Hey! Hey, Googlers. Are there any rock stars here today? Absolutely, that's more like it. Hand in the air, hand on your crotch. Doesn't have to be your crotch. Anybody's. But that's good news because Jimmy John's sandwich shop is looking for some rock stars. I don't mean to completely deflate your ambitions, but everything just keeps changing all the time, except this slide, which is in every presentation I've given in the last, 10 years. Stuff just keeps changing. Periscope, well, there was Meerkat before Periscope, and no sooner had I gone like that, I was at South by Southwest 2 years ago, to kind of go, oh, Meerkat, this is interesting. Oh, by the time my fingers hit the keys, it didn't exist anymore. And Periscope comes along, and Instagram was awesome, and now they changed the, I'm liking Ripple. Ripple makes your still images look like video. It's kind of cool. And this is just a catastrophe now. Turntable FM. Does Vine still exist even? Wow. See, it's a good job I approached it that way because, yeah. MySpace, it's back. No, it isn't. It was, even when it was back, it was like, no, it isn't. Hootsuite actually is awesome. Lambda is software that masters your music in a heartbeat. But as I said, it's just a mess. Instagram, yeah, I was loving it. Everything keeps changing. Dunkin' Donuts, making chicken sandwiches. Burger King, donuts. The world has gone mad. It's gone mad. I'm like, what is how? This is not right. I drove past Kentucky Fried Chicken down by the White Sox, and the sign outside says, stop on in for a cake. No. I'm not gonna. Vinyl is back from near extinction just after I threw all my vinyl away. I threw all the vinyl away. Cassettes are back. This was Cassette Store Day 2013. And punk is a beer. Right? I was in a band with Johnny Rotten for 5 years, right? I came up through punk in London, and now it's a beer. I want to go to the factory and see the production line. Kids with the yellow mohawks. At least we still have anarchy, don't we? Here at Google, we still have anarchy, don't we? Sometimes I'll say to my kids, hey kids, you feel like a spot of anarchy today? And they're like, yeah, I've got 4 boys. Yes, Dad. I'm like, yeah, the revitalizing shower gel from Axe. I don't remember what anarchy smelled like, but it's not that. I tell you what, there is also anarchy for him. Have you smelt it? Yeah. It's terrible. It's really bad. You just got off a plane, Darren.
Why is it just for me?
Well, you're English. But, ladies, yeah, anarchy for her. Oh, it all just blew back. Now, here's a tip with anarchy for her. You don't just spray it. You spray it and then... You want to try some, Chelsea? Eddie, pick one. It's terrible. It's really bad. Yeah, it's just going to be circulating now. There's the Anarchy workout, and these experts are going to go. There's nothing you can do with that credit card that makes it punk. You could buy a bag of drugs with that credit card. There's nothing you can do with that card that will make it punk. Okay, little stuff. Let's look at some little stuff. We'll move on to bigger stuff, and we'll get to the huge stuff. Or maybe we'll spend so much time on the little stuff, who knows what's going to happen. Fear of selling. Get over it. I pulled up at a venue, we were in Florida, and I said to my friend Kurs Mackey, I was doing a talk, I'm like, should I bring my merch in tonight? You think it will sell? And he said, really smartly, well, you won't sell any if you leave it in the car. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm protecting myself from putting my wares on display, which sounds, selling my stuff. I'm frightened to sell my shit. And we all do that. You've got to get your stuff out the car and set it up. And it's not about the selling of it, although it is if you need gas money to get to the next gig. It's about the transaction, which is never about money. It's a transaction about a relationship. Rolling your T-shirts. This is band-related stuff. You roll your shirts. Tip jar. I keep forgetting this tiny little thing too. Have a tip jar. I got an email from a band. They said, that tip, the tip jar tip, as it shall become known, saved our band. I'm like, whoa, what do you mean? Well, it didn't, but it kind of nearly did. After our first show, we had a bit of an argument, and there was $15 in the tip jar, and we took that and we went to Denny's, and we got a band meal. It felt like they'd been bought dinner by some fictitious record label, or whatever. Good luck getting $15 out of a record label. And over dinner, they talked about what was right about the day and what was wrong about the day. And it didn't save their band, but it got them to the next show. And the $15 from the next tip jar got them to the show after that. Just tiny stuff that made a big difference. You have to have it say something smart on your tip jar. Sexy people tip. Every time you tip, God saves a kitten. Of course, that needs to be changed. Every time you tip, we'll guillotine a kitten out the back. That's, in my genre, that's how you really make the... and of course, you need to have ambition. Have more than one T-shirt. Have a choice of shirts. Your question cannot be, would you like to buy a shirt? Your question has to be, blocking the exit. Which one of these shirts are you going to buy now? This one or that one? It's a very different question. Give away your songs all the time. Give away everything all the time. And some musicians still are like, yeah, we'll give away that demo or that crappy live recording we did, or that mix that didn't work out very well, that was cheap. Let's give that away. You can't. You have to give away your best stuff all the time. You have got this one chance to start a relationship. If you were a bakery, you've got some smoked salmon things. I'm watching the Great British Baking Show, so I'm about to go off at some flaky vol au vent pastry nightmare. I'm on this, you've got to watch it. Great British Baking Show, very relaxed. Well, Great British Baking Show and heroin, really relaxing. But, so you're at this bakery, and you've got this smoked salmon vol au vent thing that costs you a fortune, is complicated and difficult to make. You don't want to give that away. You've also got some stale bagel chips that didn't turn out very well, and some somebody tripped, dropped them on the floor, and now you've got stale bagel chips that people didn't really like, and there's probably some cat hair mixed in with them too. You can't give them away. That's the end of your relationship with your free, stale, cat hair-infested bagel chips. You've got to give away this smoked salmon vol au vent thing, and there's a relationship. Oh, I'm hungry. Anybody else hungry now? It's time to remove the protective cup. So come on, everybody. This is left over from my sports lecture. Remove. So, 80s business, 90s business was this, wasn't it? Everybody's protecting their shit. Urgh. That can't be how we act anymore. You've got to put your arms down to the side and give people a hammer. Here's the thing. The bigger the hammer you give to somebody, the less likely they are to smash you in the crotch with it. Right? If you do that, if you put arms to the side, you want a hammer, Martin? And you give me some G.I. Joe toy miniature hammer, I'll kill you with it. If you give me a sledgehammer, I'll be like, oh yeah, here we go, bring it on. Hoo, hoo, hoo. A one, a two. Yeah, I can't, mate, let's go have a beer. The bigger the hammer you give, the less likely people are to smash you in the crotch with it. I don't just talk about this stuff. This is my version of the hammer. I did a thing on my website, Christmas Eve. Hey, things are going pretty good for me. If they're not going very well for you, pick a discount. Emboldened by my sledgehammer slide. And I put those discounts up. It felt like punk rock to me, right? 30%, 50%, 90%. Do you know the discount that I didn't imagine people would use, that they used a lot? Zero. I'm like, holy crap. Why would somebody use 0% when they've got a choice of 30, 50, 90? I don't know, but lots of people did. Because I gave a big sledgehammer 90%. Next time I do this, and I got busy, but I'm going to do it again, I think I'll do 100%. Now, I'm not just going to do 100% and go on holiday. I'm going to do 100%, sit by the laptop going, oh. Get ready to shut that down. Oh, temporary, oh, the server's crashed. Right, be smart about it. But it's trust that we're selling. That's not right, is it? It's trust that we're building. It's trust that we're making. It's trust that we choose to create this obstacle course for, in a way. Yeah, there's no real reason for this slide. There's a quote from Chuck D, so I could seem like, yeah, so what Chuck D says, what you know is what you save, and what you save is what you make. But really, it's just me and Chuck D. I was hanging out with Chuck D. There you go. There's no more of that in this lecture. It's just me and you and Sir Richard Branson. Anyway. What an asshole. Protect your assets. You need assets. Always have something else to sell, right? All this free stuff is great, but if you only have one shirt, one song, one thing, you're screwed when you give it away. You need 10 more things and other things besides. So when you give something away, you're stimulating and creating this other part of this relationship. Bigger stuff. You want to spread your message far and wide? We start to think geographically. We start to look at a map. Where are we going to go? Now, install a jacuzzi. Go to culinary school. Start brewing amazing beer. Thanks, Lance. That's one of my favorite beers in the world, that is. Buy some extra beds. These are the reasons things will be better 2 years from now. I met this woman in Cleveland. And I don't know if she was at a talk somewhere, at one of my talks. And she said, well, at least I know wherever my son goes, he'll have people helping him and protecting him. I go, well, how do you know that? And she shows me this book, this tattered book, one of those lined books with the pen stuffed in it. And she did all of those things. She went to culinary school. They put a laundry in the basement, 4 beds, screaming internet, and invited every band coming through town to stay with them. And she made them breakfast. She helped them with the laundry, right? She did all of that cool stuff and created connections for her son, a safety net for her son. I'm like, that's genius. So we're thinking, how can we be huge in Cleveland? Stay where you are and invite bands from Cleveland to come and stay with you, and then go and stay with them. Of course, some of them will break up. Some of them won't answer the phone when you call. That's just the roll of the dice. That's on them. Don't just do more, be more, right? I got a nice piece on NPR about this. I don't have time to talk you through it. My BlackBerry Jam scam story. If you go to NPR, All Songs Considered, there's a few nice stories, actually. Me planting trees for Bon Jovi's drummer. High point for me. What did you do with your summer? I was planting trees for Bon Jovi's drummer. You've got to stay on top of the newest technology. It's like ironic, right? I'm standing here at Google. You've got to stay on top of all the newest shit. Because... Really? Was there a silence? Is that me? Oh, it's me. Sorry. That is me. Yeah. Well, I'm doing a Google Talk. Yeah. No, it's a hilarious... Yeah, it's a phone... Yeah. But you do. I'm joking about it, but you know it's important. Technology, technology, technology.
You've got mail.
What?
You've got mail.
Right, you're laughing. It's 9.0. I've got AOL on my laptop. One of my favorite things to do when I'm in the green room at some conference, I'll make sure my volume's on full. Make sure there's a bunch of people sitting in the green room talking about their new startup and, we'll bootstrap this and blah, blah, blah. And I'll hit that. And it's like, honestly, I'm going to have to start traveling with an ambulance or something, because the whiplash when people hear that, it's just fantastic. And I don't kind of get up and go, ha, ha, ha. I have to sit there and pretend like I'm an idiot. But they're the idiots. Oh, we got a little bit off track there, but let's get back to it. Do something different. Do something different. Do more of what works and less of what doesn't. That's the great thing about all the apps and technology. You can track something immediately. This is a great idea. No, it isn't. Change, iterate, do something else. Efficiency. I get pulled into this all the time. People want to do things more efficiently. There's no such thing as efficiency. We just did a Pigface show last year, and people bought tickets from me, and they got a pair of T-shirts and some coupons and some other stuff. And so I'm sending out all these packages to people. I have a list of all these addresses of people who wanted to come and see my band Pigface. I'm like, well, I've got to write a note, and I have to put their name on it. I have to sign it, which makes perfect sense if you're talking to your grandma, right? There's 450 packages going out. That's not nothing. Then I put in a signed CD, which is not nothing to unwrap a bunch of CDs to sign and then let them dry and then put them in. Then I put handfuls of candy in these envelopes, because we're building or cementing or reinvigorating these relationships. So the efficiency is just not in it. There needs to be a column on the spreadsheet for vibe, grooviness, and something else I can't think of. Right? But that should be on a spreadsheet. And we'll talk about longevity in a bit, but yeah. No reason. No reason. I just like that slide. Sometimes it feels like he's pointing. Get the fuck over whatever it is. It's something. Just get over it. Technical ability. This is worth mentioning. I think many of us want to be really good at one thing. Doesn't matter. I was hanging out with John Langford from the Mekons Tuesday night. And he said he started the Mekons. He played drums in the Mekons not because he was a good drummer. He had a drum kit. That was it. And one of the other guys in the band said, "You want to start a band?" Well, none of us can play. Should we start a band? And they did. They're celebrating their 40th anniversary this year. Here's a 9-year-old prodigy guitarist on the Ellen DeGeneres show about to meet Ozzy. Here's a 7-year-old drummer with 13 million hits. Whatever it is you're good at, type into YouTube, whatever you're good at, child prodigy. Within 3 minutes, you'll be down at You Break I Fix because you cried into your laptop and the salty tears sparked your keyboard. There might be 1 or 2 people sitting here going, "Yeah, this doesn't apply to me. I'm a pilot." Yeah, so is this 5-year-old kid from China. Always say yes to everything. Difficult for me. I'm kind of shy. And there's like... So I'm revealing this part of me. If you want to laugh, go ahead and laugh. There's like a 3-year lag between one of my slides and me actually doing something about it. I've just realized, right? But I was at South by Southwest EDU, and I met the mayor of Austin, who's doing some amazing shit right now, for sure. And it was this long day, and just about to get in the elevator, and these Canadian educators say, "Hey, let's go for sushi." I'm like, I felt myself going, and I had like, well, it's been a long day, blah, 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 you know. And I'm like, "Remember your slides from the last 4 years, Martin?" And I'm like, "Yes." Had the most amazing time talking about education in Canada. It's very different in Canada, obviously. So I used this. The guy who kind of taught me that was Ivor Bjornsson from Enslaved. Long story, but it's kind of amazing. Let's try, can we? Let's have a pact between ourselves here today to be more awesome than a pasta restaurant. Can we do that? Does everybody agree to be more awesome than a pasta restaurant? Because, yeah, a few of you thinking, well, I thought you said pasta. I should have said pasta restaurant, shouldn't I? Pasta restaurant. But they had this thing, I think a year ago, where, "Hey, you want to come in and eat some of our pasta? We'll watch your kids for 2 hours." I'm like, wow. So originally, I put this slide in my talk because it was like, wow. And then I started to get upset. Like, I'm pointing at a pasta restaurant for us to, like, aspire to, you know? And then I start to see bands on Facebook. Well, Ohio, where were you Friday? Where was everybody? Where was our scene? What's going on? Just having a go at people who didn't come to their show. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about anything that's important to you for a moment. I'm in a band. Yeah. I'm a DJ. Oh, I'm a terrible DJ. You didn't mention that, Josh. I'm really bad. I could destroy your wedding. Not in a good way. I could just completely destroy your wedding. But I thought, how many artists would watch their fans' kids, right? So let's aspire to do that. Let's stop being shit. Start being awesome. Your brand is a band, and you want to have your customers be fans. So do your fans' laundry. This is where I lose everybody, right? If I'm doing music, people are just like, "Oh, yeah." Normally I'll say, drugs, we'll do something to try and get people back. But you think about it. I don't know if you've got Googlers here who are like, "Hey, how's it going?" I don't know how you guys get along. But there's got to be some, "Hey, record release party." "Oh, I'm busy. I haven't told you when it is yet." "No, but I'm going to be busy." Nobody cares. Nobody cares. So why not have your music release party, your launch of whatever it is, at a laundromat? Now the conversation's different. Hey, we're having a release party. Ooh. And everybody gets 2 loads of laundry done. Oh, when is that? Let me dial that in on my phone. Boom. Because nobody cares. And sure, some people will show up and just get the laundry done. Ha, 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 ha. Screw them. But you can manipulate the situation. You can slide the owner of the laundromat, $50 would probably do it, to like dial back the temperature on the dryers. So halfway in, you can be like, hey, woo, woo, woo. Hey, sorry, terribly sorry. No disrespect to you, Mike. This is a fantastic laundromat. There is a problem with the dryers. We're putting in more dryer sheets. We're going to keep the party going. Somebody's brought a case of beer. Let's listen to the album one more time. People are like, fuck, what are people going to do? They're held captive now by their own wet laundry. Right? And sure, 5 listens, 2 listens through you could get away with some Red Bull, some other stuff. But there will be people who are like, oh, screw those, screw that. But at least I got clean underwear. I'm thinking 9 days later, when they've still got clean underwear, they're like, screw those guys, ha, 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 I win. But you know what? The songs were pretty good. I kind of like them. Let me dial that up again. I wonder if they're playing close by, right? That's that trust thing again. Nobody cares about what's important to you. Everyone's got dirty underwear. You win. This is where we lose everybody else. Get the fuck out of bed. I'm lucky. My kids are kind of grown now. Coley's 8. He's going to be 9 soon. But when he was 3 or 4, most mornings, 4:35, I'm getting kicked in the back. I've got congealed puke across the back of my neck, similar to some of the situations I think you guys wake up in most mornings. But here's the deal. I'm up at 5. I'm 5 hours ahead of my arch rival, ironically the lead singer in a band called Arch Rivals. 5 hours, big deal. But at the end of the week, I'm 35 hours ahead. That's 1,000, I know you've done the math in your head. It's 1,820 hours a year, 76 days ahead. That's the difference. Just in case you're wondering, the Get the Fuck Out of Bed theme is also available as fantastic performance art pillowcase set. And I'm not just a crazy punk rocker. You can't just have these slides up at Google. You have to have cats. The cats swung it. Look, no, this Get the Fuck Out. Oh, there's cats. I think those are Heimer Black's cats. Dynasty Podcast cats. The Dynasty Podcats. That's who that is. A couple of quotes before I get to the big, huge stuff. This is Dale Carnegie. My dad sent me this quote. Thanks, Dad. You can make more friends in 2 months by being interested in other people than you can make in 2 years trying to get other people interested in you. That should have like asterisk unless you do their laundry. Love that quote. There's another good one about community. A neighbor is defined as one who resides 40 houses to one's right, 40 houses to one's left, 40 houses in front, 40 houses behind. I think that's the Quran. Always be nice to everyone. Be nicest to the people with the least reason for you to be nice to them. You can't be strategic about being nice. Just be nice. The good thing is, there are some people, being nice to them, you'd have to buy them a car. And if someone's at that point where you've got to buy a car for them to go, thanks for the car isn't going to make a difference anyway. The time to make a difference is when it's a smile, a sandwich, not being an asshole. Right? That's a huge thing to do, to be nice to someone. You don't know the context. Maybe their partner just left them. Maybe they just got this ridiculous electric bill or a speeding fine or something. Just be nice. See what I did here? It's so big. It's like a typography thing. We don't have to get into it now. I'll be sticking around afterwards. How do we put 20,000 fans in a stadium? I'm going to answer that question and more on my subscription site. That's like a question, right? How do we do that? How do we get to there on the Billboard chart? Yeah, don't know. I don't fucking know. But I know something. I know every single person in this room could make friends with 2 people. Today, of all days, you wanna? Right? And we're not gonna do some like, oh, turn to the person to your left, punch him in the face. We're not gonna do it. But that's all this stuff is. If you make 2 friends today, or 6, I'm not gonna do the math, we'll keep it at 2s, right? Every day you make 2 friends. Now, it gets a little bit plate spinny. You've got to stay in touch with the friends you made 8 weeks ago, right? You've got to keep that plate spinning. But that's all it is. When you approach it as, how do we put 20,000 people in, you're screwed. If you approach it as, I could make 2 friends today. And you get better at it. You'll have days where you make 20 friends, or 20 potential longer-term friends, right? And you'll have days where you do some terrible stuff that doesn't make any difference. That's it. There isn't any huge stuff. There isn't huge stuff. There's just small stuff plus time. That's all there is. And so we've all been like, what is that? We're like Stockholm Syndrome prisoners of music business and the key holders who want us to believe, like, one day, it's behind this curtain. Actually, there's a door behind the curtain. We could go through there. There's another room with more curtains. We'll pull the curtains, you get the key. That gets the key to the digital combination of the, one day we'll take you there. Because they don't want you to know. There's no fucking secret to any of it. Just one day making 2 friends. One day making 2 more friends. You know, when I came up, a lot of really good things happened to me very quickly. I was on the front cover of Melody Maker. That was just weird as hell. I used to walk past the newsagents on my way to my government job when I was 18 in London. And I'd see Melody Maker, NME, Sounds, all those magazines, smash hits probably. And like, fantasize like one day that could be me. At the age of 18, I'm on the front cover, we're doing live television. We came over here, we did American Bandstand, went to Japan and did all this stuff. But I had this smash and grab mentality of like, that I would have less time than a superstar soccer player, right? Like, we got 2 years, grab that case of beer, we're at, not realizing, I met Joe Shanahan from the Metro in 1981, I still see him with his kids, Dave and Buster's, right? You just don't think like that. You just like, grab that bottle of whiskey, what? There's just relationships, people, trust, and community. And once you start looking at things like that, the efficiency thing is just a no-brainer. It doesn't matter. If I'm creating a relationship that could go on for, touch wood, of course there's no wood in this. Relationships that could go on for 30, 40, 50 years. The front end takes whatever it takes. It's not one thing. It's 300 or 420. Got the students back. Lost some students with the laundry. Oh, yeah. This genius. It's genius what he's saying now. And big letters, 420. 420 big. Oh, no, losing it. What's going on? 420,000 is the number. Anybody know what that number is? No, okay. It's how many cats you get if you don't spay one cat. Google it. Right, if you don't spay of course, it's not from that one cat, which I think you were thinking. From all the cats that come because of not spaying that cat, there's probably 8 the first time it has a litter. So what we need to be is, we got to spay. I don't want to say we shouldn't, right, but one of my kids said to me, this marketing thing, Dad, it's like zombies. it's like a zombie thing. Like, where are you going with this, son? It was Ian or Harrison, and like, well, it's like a zombie bites a person, and then there's 2, and then those 2 zombies bite 2 more, but then there's 4. It's like grains of wheat on the chessboard, right? 8, 16, 32. So my last piece of advice to you is to be a not spayed zombie kitten. That's the title of my next book. That's rare. Well, that's what we got to be. Not spayed zombie kittens biting people, yeah. And of course, we always need to throw muffins. That's my shit. I don't have any control over these bags of muffins. Is anybody desperate for a muffin? It's not code, it's just, well, oh, once again, please, eyes forward, eyes forward. Well, see? I just got Dan in the ear. One of my favorite moments at South by Southwest, I picked up a box, right? And I thought, I couldn't get the little bags all the way to the back. I thought, well, I'll kick this, right? And there was somebody sitting there. It hit, you've never heard such a bang, and just hit this guy in the face. And we're still friends to this day, which I don't know what I'm saying. Anybody want to go for the whole, oh. It's easy sitting there with your bags of muffins. Yeah, I thought overall the talk was pretty good. You made some good points and blah, blah, blah. People don't realize the preparation that goes into something like this. Like, I'm sitting up all night, opening these bags, masturbating into each bag, and the heat sealing. This is like 6 or 7 hours right there. That's me. Thank you.